Alright, I've got a lot to announce. I'll be really quick about it, so I apologize in advance. But first off, thank you very much to Declan H for joining the Patreon campaign over at patreon.com/TJOmega. If you weren't paying attention, I'm doing a micro video series for the month of December, kind of Toy-Cember flavored, but kind of reactionary. You can see all 25 parts right now if you are on my Patreon campaign. And I plan to do more advanced look things like that in the future, as well as some exclusive videos for the upper tiers. Also, I'm just going to say, like, super thank you, because you guys are the reason I'm able to keep doing this. So, if you're willing to provide to me, I want to try and provide as much as I can to you. Second of all, I have a guest appearance of sorts over on Gob the Goblin's YouTube channel today at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So hopefully I've uploaded this early enough for you guys to have a heads up. I'll link to his Twitch channel below in the description. We're going to be doing a Christmas-themed one-shot of Dungeons & Dragons. So if you've ever wanted to see me playing D&D, well, you're going to have an opportunity, and it's going to be a super weird, fun, chaotic time. So please come out and take a look. All right. Rise of the Beast trailer. All right, now that we got everything out of the way. So, I've had my reservations about this movie. I was really worried because they're going back to that big blockbuster budget thing again, that we are going to see those kind of diminishing returns that we had from past Transformer movies. I loved how Bumblebee pulled the scale back down so we could get better attachment to the characters, so the villains could be better fleshed out. I really felt like it did a lot of things right, and I was really worried that this was going to go back to the same mistakes that were happening with the last of the Michael Bay movies, because there's a lot of issues those movies had outside of just the Bayisms. A lot, like especially The Last Night, with how overcomplicated the plot got and how many elements were thrown in. Yeah, it was not the best. It was not the best. So is arguably the worst. So when they start announcing that we're going to get Maximals and Terracons and all kinds of crazy things in this movie, I start to worry again. So let's actually take a look. So we're not doing any footage, Paramount. We're going to take a look at some screen caps, and that's it. We're not playing any footage. We're not playing any audio. So we shouldn't be getting in trouble. All right, so first off, Optimus Prime is back. He's using the Bumblebee design, but there are some modifications to it. Just a few bits of updating. I'll be honest, I grabbed a bunch of screen caps and dumped them all in, so there might be a few superfluous ones. I apologize for that. So we'll just kind of go through here. Okay, so Primal's a pretty good place to start. That's how the trailer really started. It's just Primal jumping through a waterfall and just like gorilla slamming to show off to a bunch of humans, or intimidate a bunch of humans. So, I mean, it's not it's weird. So, my concern with this was the scale of the characters. If they're going to be like realistic hiding amongst animals type designs, then how are that going to interact with the larger Transformers in general? And they're taking the same approach they took for the Netflix series. They're just gigantic. They're just the same size as Autobots, which I think is kind of a lost opportunity. I think it's a simple way out, and I think it's a nonsensical way out, because it kind of takes away from the whole disguising as animals thing. You know, when you're the size of the original King Kong or Mighty Joe Young. No, but Primal doesn't look too bad here. He's definitely a cybernetic gorilla, so he's not blending in too much. I really hope they don't just gloss over this whole, like, giant animal thing. I really hope there is some kind of logical reason being given for it, rather than just, ooh, look, big monkey. Is being voiced by Ron Perlman, returning from the Machinima series. And from what little we heard here, he's already giving a better performance than he did in Machinima. But then again, he could have his tongue cut out and do a better performance than Machinima. Great actors can be led into very bad performances if they have a director who is just not trying their best to get an act out of them. So I feel like that is definitely the case for the Machinima series, because here it definitely seems like there's some more effort being put in. No, I'm also sure he's getting paid a lot more for this effort. So that might be a factor too. There is part of me that will never get tired of seeing Optimus Prime and Optimus Primal at the same time. It's one of the weird things that we got to see in. It's one of the weird things we got to see in the Netflix series that was kind of weird and trippy. Here we go again. Here we are again. I'm still not totally in love with the Bumblebee design for Optimus, by the way. Like in general, they like had these like really wide hips. So like there's a weird proportion to it. I don't know. I've just never been like a huge fan of how it looks. Especially the thighs being thicker than the shins. I know that's a thing in real proportions, but typically not in Transformers. All right. So yeah, here's a better look at Prime. He is definitely designed similar to the way he was in the Bumblebee movie. There's a little bit more silver to his chest, like that overhang. That's new. For the most part, he looks fine. I'm going to say right now, I'm not a fan of the arm cannon. I'm just as a pet peeve of mine in general. I don't like seeing Transformers with transforming arm cannon weapons. I know it's more convenient, it looks cooler, but you got to think of it in universe. In universe, that means their weapon is directly tied to their own energy supply, which means they could literally shoot themselves to death. You know, it'd be like if you like armed like a super soaker with your own blood. You know, it's not Dead Man Wonderland, you know? Like that, like there's consequences to this. You know, it's weird. It's not my preference. And it's weird. It's weird coming from the Mega Man guy where arm cannons are like literally that whole series, but I think there's a difference between such a cartoony environment where you can get away with that and this one, which is attempting to be realistic despite giant alien robots being a thing. Yeah, but when the giant alien robots are using bullets instead of laser blasts, okay, I think they're trying to be realistic with the weapons, so I think I'm justified in pointing out this pet peeve. Either way, I don't think it's a good look for Prime. I really don't. I think it just looks better and looks more commanding if he's got his traditional rifle. Might be just me, though. My little pet peeves. Let's keep going. The vehicle mode looks nice. I don't miss the flame job. That always seemed like it was trying too hard. But yeah, very classic vehicle mode. A little bit stylized, a little bit freshened up. Not a bad thing. Bumblebee back to using that old school Camaro. I really don't like that they went back to the Camaro. Like, Volkswagen gave their blessing, worked out great for the Bumblebee movie. I don't see why he needs to be a Camaro again. He's a Camaro again because movie Bumblebee is a Camaro. Yada yada. Yeah, it's fine. I'm actually surprised. Bumblebee really doesn't feature much in this trailer at all. Like, they look like they're intentionally trying to keep his role to a minimum. At least they're portraying it as a minimum. Really, in this trailer, we got a lot more of Mirage. Like, it seems like he's going to be, like, the human contact character for the movie, and Bumblebee is just kind of taking a sideline role, which, after what he did in the Bumblebee movie, I think it's kind of understanding you're not going to hook him up to a new human right away, because that, I don't know, that seems to deflate that connection with Charlie if he just moves on that quick. But yeah, it's interesting how little Bumblebee is actually in the trailer. Kind of surprising, really. There's Mirage. I mean, it's a Porsche, so you wouldn't expect Mirage out of it, but it is what it is. I mean, I guess if you're going to throw in Mirage, there could be worse ways. At the very least, it's close to his normal color scheme. I'll give it that. I mean, and certainly, like, having a Formula 1 car racing along with the Autobots is going to stand out a little bit, kind of defy the whole Transformers, Robots in Disguise part of the franchise. I know, it's not a bad vehicle mode, though. It's just, you know, we know other Transformers who should probably be a Porsche. Just saying. We got to see a chase scene with the police, and it's the heroes, the Autobots, by the way, led a police car to smash into a barricade, almost certainly killing the officer inside. But during this chase scene, we saw something completely new as a transformation trick, and I don't think I like it. So at one point, Mirage gets spun around and he's driving backwards, and our lead human Noah here is in the middle. He's in the driver's seat, and then Mirage transforms backwards. So he doesn't leave vehicle mode. What he does is kind of rotate and shift everything around until he's facing forward. And I don't think I like that. Is it a cool visual? Yes. Does it make sense? No. Like, at some point, there has to be some kind of consistency. There has to be rules to what a Transformer can do and how many limits there are to how they can reshape and shift around their body. If they can do it this easily, why stick to one vehicle mode? Why stick to one robot mode? Why stick to 2 arms when you could just decide, oh, I'm just going to have 4 arms now so I can hold twice as many guns? Why not? Why bother with the arms at all? You got arm cannons. Just have 10 guns as a torso. You know, where is the limit if you can just do this? Because at some point I have to imagine there's supposed to be a robot in there. And I can't imagine you can shuffle his parts around that much without really screwing something up. I don't know. Again, nitpicky things like that. Like, that's the kind of thing that sticks in my head. I know it's just neat movie visuals, but, you know, at the same time, I want rules to the universe a little bit. Speaking of tradition in Transformers, we get to see Mirage's traditional ability, that being Hound's ability, but I guess it works with Mirage name. Whatever, I would have preferred invisibility, but at least this looks neat. Again, it just looks neat, so we'll get away with it. But whatever. It's the movieverse. They don't really follow any traditions to the characters at all. I should be lucky that the color blue features on Mirage. Alright, let's see some more beasts here. So for starters, we get to see Bumblebee in his off-road mode, which, you know, I'm sick of the Camaro, but this kind of livens it up a little bit, so I'm not too upset about that. Hopefully we get some good toys that feature this version of his alt mode. But we're starting to see more beasts here, and this is where it gets super strange. So once again, we see Bumblebee and Cheetor together, the 2 Kid Appeal characters, combined and united at last. It's fun. It's fun to see the characters together. You know, we've gotten to see little bits of it here and there. Cyberverse gave us Cheetor and Bumblebee at the same time. Now we get to see them rushing into battle together. And again, Cheetor is gigantic, which makes no sense. But I hope somewhere in the universe, I hope somewhere in the movie they explain why the animals are so big. That's all I want. He doesn't look bad, though. I will say this. People have been pointing out that the CGI does not look great. It has also been pointed out that for the first trailer in previous Transformer movies, the CGI didn't look great there either. And if you compare it to later cuts, if you compare it to the final release, the CGI gets cleaned up a lot. So I think what we're seeing here is more proof of concept and proof that this movie is in production and well along in production. The visuals will get cleaned up. The character surfaces will look better. The motions will be smoother. Don't freak out. Don't panic. This is just the first look. Same as like when you see a video game for the first time and it's laggy and full of frame rate issues. That all gets patched out on day 1. So when you see this movie, it's going to look a lot better than it does right now. I really shouldn't be making that comparison. Everyone's complaining about Scarlet and Violet. That's not a cyberpunk situation, by the way. It's not nearly as bad. Stop saying that. I've heard that too many times. I digress. Visuals will look better, so don't worry about that. Alright, interesting chase scene with falling robots. I wish any of them had better visuals of like which robots were falling, but none of them do. So just take my word for it. It was hard to see. All right. We got to see Battletrap in vehicle mode briefly, firing a missile from his engine like he's a mask vehicle, which I entirely approve of. And then we get to see Arcee here. Now, we knew she was in the movie because we've seen the bike on set. First time we get to see what she actually turned out as, and guess what? There's only one of her this time, and she actually looks like Arcee. Both steps up. So, very, very good. I'm also kind of surprised she gets the visor that she had in the 86 movie. I don't know if that's an intentional throwback or if they just thought it would look cool for the character. Either way, I appreciate it. It's actually this really cool sequence with Wheeljack where he's like taking a sharp turn to avoid this missile and have it go like straight through his van mode, which is kind of a neat little trick. And then Arcee is actually using like her vehicle mode wheels on her legs to kind of like skate alongside Ratchet and fire away at Terracons, which is a cool little trick. It's gonna make for a nice scene. And Arcee looks good. Arcee looks good. Wheeljack we don't get to see much of at all. We get like a far shot of what his robot mode looks like from the back. And it seems very typical movie Transformer, which is not what I wanted to see, but hey, it's what it is. I don't mind the Volkswagen van. It's ironic to me that we are looking at a live-action Transformer movie. We just got Bumblebee back as a Volkswagen, and then we threw it away. But we still get a Volkswagen in the movie. He's a hippie van that looks like it's been redone into like a work van. It's weird. I'm gonna look forward to the toy because it's the type of thing we haven't ever gotten for a Transformer before. So at least it should be a fun toy. Like I said, we didn't see much of Wheeljack, so hopefully the next trailer gives us a bit of an idea of who we're getting into with that character. Okay, Scourge. Ooh. Oh, he looks good. Oh, he looks super intimidating, which is absolutely perfect. Yeah, I'm on board for this. So like I said, we get to see very little Bumblebee. We got to see that one transformation sequence, and we got to see Bumblebee impaled by Scourge. That's literally all we got to see of Bumblebee in the trailer. But yeah, Scourge is looking good. He's again kept to a minimum. We get to see a lot more Battletrap. We don't see Nightbird at all, by the way. It seems like it's mostly Battletrap and whatever is evening the odds between these sides, because there's like 3 Terracons, 6 Autobots confirmed, 4 Maximals confirmed, 10-3. These Terracons are gonna have to be really terrifying to justify this. All right. Other scenes we get to see. I wish I knew my geography. I cannot identify these areas, and I will not besmirch any by trying to guess where they are. But it is very lovely scenery. We get a festival going on as well. Yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna wager a guess. More shots of the Maximal cast. Rhinox, who is like strangely like smooth, like very smooth, like I can't even tell like where his head ends and his body begins type smooth. Also, his mouth is horrifying. That tongue alone makes that mouth kind of horrifying to me. That's all we got of Rhinox. He just screams at the camera. We also got, yeah, I tried to get pictures of that and it didn't work out. We do get to see Battletrap in robot mode. Again, like I was kind of hoping with the way his toy looked, he does actually have a lot more character and color to him in his robot mode. He's not just a gray skeleton that I can't make out from the rest of the gray skeletons. You know, like that orange makes him stand out. The glowing face is definitely going to make him stand out. Now that I look at this again, I'm actually wondering if the bot to the left is Nightbird. In motion, it might just be scrap metal falling. I really don't know. But, like, yeah. There's, like, some epic battle going on here that everyone is charging into. Super interesting. Super cool. Like, I'm really wondering, again, how they're going to even up the odds here. What you see here is Cheetor from behind. He does this cool flip over a rock transformation type thing. So yeah, it looks like the Maximals have pretty simple transformations, but they have cool ways of implementing them. We get to see very briefly, we get to see Primal in robot mode. Doesn't look much different from his monkey mode, does he? I guess that's just going to always be a thing when it comes to Optimus Primal, even in the live-action movie. I really wish they differentiated it better somehow. Like, this just seems like a lost opportunity. On the upside, he does get a chained weapon, which is really cool. Like, he actually has a chain weapon he swings around, and also you can see he has his curved swords. Like, they actually have the accurate weapons for him, which is not what I expected at all. Super cool. Also, for some reason, I know I took photos of it, but I'm not seeing Air Razor in here for some reason. That's weird, so I apologize for that. Air Razor only has one shot, where, like, she's nuclear, she's like Rodan blasting a bridge as she flies by the camera. We don't get a good look at her. What's interesting about the scene is it looks like the one that's trying to run across the bridge when it's getting blasted is Optimus Prime. Now, it might be Scourge or Battletrap. It's really hard to tell. It's really hard to tell, but because he's so small on the screen. But if it's Prime, and it kind of looks like Prime because the legs and chest look like they're different colors. If it is Prime, that makes a very interesting statement of where the Maximals are going to be with the Autobots at first. I could definitely see where they could be antagonistic at first before figuring out we're kind of on the same side. So I'm eager to see what that is all about. What do I have left here? One shot of Arcee, so we get a very good look at her robot mode. Red and pink tire on the back. She's a little bit Prime Arcee and a lot G1 Arcee, so it's an interesting little blend going on. What is surprising to me is that if I look back here, she's not in the shot, but she's actually in this battle scene, which means, as opposed to her previous depiction, she actually survives more than one battle, which is kind of an improvement. I'm happy to see they treat Arcee a little bit better as a result. This is also what confuses me, because Arcee just seems kind of normal sized, not like normal Transformer size, but she seems more like in human scale, which again makes me wonder why couldn't the Beast Wars cast be like smaller? Like obviously that wasn't a problem. Again, I want an explanation. I want to know. And again, this trailer seemed to focus a lot on Mirage. There's a lot of cool scenes of him, but we didn't get a really good look at his robot mode. Even this is just the best spot where I could screen cap his robot mode. His head is not completely transformed yet, which, by the way, I hate when the head is part of the transformation. Why would your head be made of like 100 pieces that have to like slot in together? But yeah, like, it was just a super cool scene where like Noah just like kind of steps out during mid-transformation like it's nothing. So like they both look super cool during the scene. And yeah, he looks good. He looks interesting. Definitely want to get a better look at him though. Alright, so I've gone on for like over 20 minutes just on this trailer alone. This is a short trailer for me to go on. I told you, I warned you yesterday, I was going to nitpick this thing in excruciating detail. So there's parts that I can pick on and go like, I don't like that choice. I don't like the direction. But overall, it's not a bad trailer. It does have me intrigued for the movie. It does seem like it's a little bit more balanced out than I was afraid it would be. What I can tell already from the trailer itself is that a lot of the Michael Bay flavor is not in this movie. It definitely seems like you can just feel that it's someone different in the directing booth, because a lot of the typical shots aren't there. The oversaturated colors aren't there. Nothing looks muddied out or like orange glowing like a lot of his stuff tends to look like. It looks like a movie. It looks like a movie done by like a competent director. Who'd have thunk? So I'm intrigued to see where it goes, but I definitely need to see another trailer to actually figure out some of these characters and figure out how our human cast is. We got a little bit of Noah, but really our human cast has not featured very much in this at all yet. So we'll see. There's still a lot to reveal. This is just the first time we got to actually see that, yes, the movie is actually being worked on. And it might actually come out after, what, 4 years of delays? This thing was supposed to... People thought this was coming out in 2019 originally. Jeez. Alright, so that's the trailer. That is me talking way too long about the trailer. If you stuck through it, I'm glad. I appreciate it. Thank you guys very much for watching. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. And I guess we'll just sit back and wait for the next one to come in. Because, yeah, it's interesting times for Transformers. So, I will see you then. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.